Ashe, greetings and goodwill to you all. Once again, my fellow humans, the world over. Yes, you don't know that it is yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. And welcome to the first presentation in my series of talks titled 1,000+ Things My Mama and my grandma used to say. And what do I mean by things? Some of you might be curiously asking. By things I mean wise sayings, idioms, maxims, proverbs, and philosophical quotes, etc. They are some of the wise sayings that I grew up as a child and into my adulthood listening to, questioning, lamenting over, learning from, practice. Even to this day, in all my later years, I still continue to practice them in my daily life. They are they that have helped influence and shaped my mind, my critical and my analytical thinking, and of course, my life. They are some of the things that have helped make me into who and what I am today. And the first quote from 1,000+ things my mama and grandma used to say, things that I will share with you and elaborate upon, is this, and I quote, regardless of how long you live, you will be dead much longer, unquote. Regardless of how long one lives, one will be dead much longer. Now, there's so much knowledge, so much perspectives, so much information, insights, and wisdom that I have personally gained from just this one saying, or one of Mama's saying, that I would like to share with you, that I will have to split this presentation into at least 3 separate parts. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. So please understand, this is part 1. And my reason for starting off with this quote from the 1,000+ mama and grandma used to say, sayings that I have are as follows. My reasons are as follows. Number 1, it is because of my observation of people that are possessed with a very dangerous, contagious, and self-destructive disease called greed. Yes, greedy people. I've observed them. Some greedy, and greedy people also equal stupid people that are trying to claim, these people that are trying to claim, to own, and to control everything and everyone upon the planet, other than to control themselves. And as a result, they are making everybody else's life, our lives, literally a living hell. They are making innocent people living miserable, are making their lives miserable. People who just want to live, some other people who just want to live and enjoy their short stay here in peace and serenity. Number 2, second reason, that the aforementioned coupled with a very recent encounter that I personally had with some, what I describe as cocky ass people, some skin up your nose people who were behaving as if they are not only behaving as if that not only are that they literally scorn me, behaving as if they literally scorn me and despise seeing me being alive, breathing air, and in their presence. But also they were behaving as if they also scorn and despise the very ground on which I stood, the very ground that they themselves were standing on. In fact, They were behaving as if because they have access, or because they have access rather, and privilege to the system's power and authority, aka the mark of the beast, that they are better than everyone else. And as if they are invincible. They're behaving as if they are untouchable, immortal, and as if their bodies are much too good to touch the ground, let alone to be buried. And just as I was about to react to their intense provocation, I heard a whisper in my ear. I heard this one of mama's and grandma's saying, regardless of how long you live, son, you'll be dead much longer, unquote. And that also reminded me that those truly obnoxious people will be all gone from this earth, hopefully soon. Number three, third reason, it is to share with you, all my listeners, some of the many thought-provoking lessons that I have learned from that one saying, regardless of how long you live, my child, you will be that much longer. Now, this is one very simple but also a very profound truth. Or even more correctly, this is a very simple but a very profound fact. Fact meaning it is a proven truth. Now, from my perspective, no one of sound mind and activated common sense would even attempt to dispute this fact. Here are three questions that I believe all thinking humans should ask themselves at some point in their life. Number one, what am I living for? Number two, what is the purpose of this thing called life on this side of reality, as we think we know it, on this side called earth? Number three, why did I come here? Or why am I here? And the answer to all three questions, from my perspective, can be summarized as follows. We came here to find peace and to rest, meaning to relax a while in peace. And then what? Die, aka move on. Here on this planet called Earth is where we humans should rest, or if you prefer, should relax in peace. Rest in peace, or if you prefer, relax in peace. And where we should be resting or relaxing in peace and not in the promised hereafter. And many of us have been deceived. And many of us are being deceived by both the governments, our politicians, or preachers and religious leaders, teachers and scientists, etc. today, into believing that when we die or when our loved ones die, that is when they will rest in peace, or that is when they are resting in peace. And thus we are taught to recite the common associated phrase, and I quote, may his or may her soul rest in peace, unquote. However, that is not true. The journey of all natural native earthly humans, and especially those that are righteous, meaning those that are of right thinking, continues after we die. It continues on its way home, or if you prefer, it continues on its way back to its source from whence it came. In fact, one ancient philosopher, some over 3,000 years ago, wrote, quote, then the dust, aka the lifeless physical body, will return to the earth as it was. And the spirit, again, also, the soul, the permanently active agent, if you will return to God. God here again, from my perspective, aka the source. Who gave it? Unquote. For those of us that are in the know, we know, understand, and understand that the soul, aka the spirit, does not rest. And that the soul, aka again the spirit, cannot rest. Soul or spirit cannot rest. We don't understand, and understand that the soul, or if you prefer the spirit, is an active agent. It's dynamic. Therefore, may his or her soul rest in peace can or may only make rational sense if or when it is interpreted as just a figure of speech. The soul or the spirit, if or when separated from the physical body into which it has only been temporarily incarnated here, may, due to circumstances, get stuck here. It may get stuck. It may get stolen. It may get lost. It may linger or hang around. It may be recycled. It may be reincarnated or incarnate again. It may be trapped and may be imprisoned here on this planet indefinitely. And for your information, there are souls that are trapped and imprisoned here on this planet for thousands, if not millions of years. But it does not rest, as in cease all activities or cease all forms of activities. Spirit does not rest. It is a physical body, aka the vehicle, if you will, into which it meaning the spirit is incarnated or incarnate for its vacation here, that do rest and that do need rest in order to recuperate. And just for your information, these are those trapped, imprisoned, earthbound, restless, tormented, mischievous, lost, wandering, bodiless souls, also known as demons, evil spirits, and the evil ones, etc. These are they that are the influencers that are responsible for almost all, if not all, of the evils that we can see and that we are seeing happening all around us on this our planet Earth today. These are they that are responsible for all the unrest, civil and otherwise, all the destruction and pollution of our Mother Earth's air, her water, and her land. These are they that are responsible for all the discord, the disunity that we are witnessing among nations, humans, and our human families. These are they that are responsible for all the unjust killings, the wars, the murders, the injustices, the violence, the shedding of innocent blood, the genocides, the heinous crimes against humanity, the poverty, the miseries, etc., etc., on this, our planet Earth. And just in case some of you might be asking this question, the Mystic Philosopher, can any of these restless and tormented souls or spirits that you mentioned earlier take over the living body of a human? Or can they be reincarnated into the body of a living human? And the answer is a resounding yes. These restless, reckless, and ruthless souls can take over, and they do take over, the living bodies of some of our fellow humans, and especially those of us that are ignorant to this fact and defenseless to that possibility. And one common name for that action, the action of a roaming spirit or a restless soul taking over the body of a living human, is called possessed and possession. For your information, a lot of our natural native earthly humans today have been and are being possessed, are being taken over, and are under the influence of these restless and rootless souls. Rootless, reckless souls. Bodiless spirits. And the will of these demons are literally being done through them meaning the bodies that they possess and take over. And all leaders and so-called leaders, be they so-called world leaders, religious leaders, military leaders, political leaders, presidents, prime ministers, dictators, oppositions, gangsters, scammers, choppers, warmongers, influencers, and dons, etc., that we see and know that they are responsible for instigating, for promoting and supporting unrest, discord among nations and humans, the unjustified killings, the genocide, the development of all forms of weapons of mass destruction, the wars, the murders, the injustice, the violence and miseries, etc., on this our planet and Mother Earth are literal human bodies that are possessed indefinitely, or at the very least possessed till death do they part, with an evil, restless soul. A soul that is either being condemned here, recycled here. Yes, there are souls that are condemned here, recycled here, reincarnated, aka incarnate again here, stuck here, lost here, trapped here, and imprisoned here. In other words, they are the physical embodiment of evil spirits, meaning they are literally possessed. They are they that it was written of, that the way of peace they know not. And how you know them? By their fruits. So when you see some people acting a certain way, now you know. By the fruits you know them. By their works and their action you know them. And that is why they are so vain, these people, these possessed bodies are so vain, so conscienceless. They have no conscience, no human conscience. They are the real artificial robot or the AI. That is why they are so conscienceless, controlling. Now you know. That's why they are so unjust, wicked, evil. That is why they are so power hungry and materialistic. That is why their hunger, greed, and thirst for more and more money, more and more material possessions, and more fame, you name it, can never be satisfied. They cannot be satisfied. It can only be described as a bottomless pit. All when they get what they want, they still want more. To quote the late Bob Marley. So if or when you may find yourself thinking or wondering why these people that we all know or heard of, that have so much political power, worldly riches, millionaires, billionaires, you name it, material wealth and possessions, those that have so much influence, why are they still wanting more and more and more of what they already have? And why are they doing all that is within their power to make other people's lives miserable? Well, then now you know. It is because they are literally possessed by the aforementioned restless and rootless spirits. Consequently, they are rootless, restless, wretched, and miserable. And as another of my mama and grandma saying goes, it said what? Misery loves company. But I will be talking more about that in a separate presentation. And the reason why most of us cannot find peace, and rest, and do not rest in peace here on earth are one. It is because of them, the aforementioned demon-possessed bodies. And two, it is because of our own ignorance, our own stupidity, deception, greed, and our attachment to material things, aka to worldly things. We covet some of these demons things, yes, and these we are attached to these temporary things. But more on this point shortly. This will be the end of part one, so stay tuned for part two. Right? Please follow me for the continuation of, regardless of how long you live, you'll be dead much longer. Or regardless of how long one lives, one will be dead much longer. In the meantime and between time, in your becoming, be more and more and much, much more. And definitely not be less. No, bless. For I am the mystic philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.